Hey, Andy, do you remember where you were 40 years ago?
I do. I was 11 going on 12, and I was going to a lot of movies.
What about you, Brian?
I was exploring my body.
Well, I think the new direction the podcast is going in will fulfill both those needs.
Oh, do tell.
Well, every week we're going to break down and discuss a movie that came out 40 years ago, almost to the day. We will be first diving into the year 1982 and all the fun that entails. Reagan was in the White House, Epcot had just opened, and the cost of gasoline was, get this, Brian, 91 cents.
Ooh. What does this have to do with Brian touching himself?
Well, I figure Brian was probably touching himself while watching these movies.
I was.
And I guess we could discuss that, too.
I like the sound of this. But what about all those amazing hours of the Love Boat podcast? What I say?
The Love Boat podcast will still be there for all the tens of fans that want them.
And who knows, maybe someday we'll go back and we'll add to those Love Boat podcasts we have out there already.
I'm out.
I'm touching myself right now.
So join us weekly as we discuss some great movies, some terrible movies, and Brian's penis. And follow us on Patreon to get our exclusive movies from 50 years ago. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Brian. That doesn't sound good.
No, it doesn't.
Let me try.
I was like, I didn't know when. I was like, should I come in? I was like,
Let me try and help
I was
you
like,
out.
is it going to get upbeat? I don't know when to come in. I'm confused. I don't know if he's recording.
I think whenever you want to, I
was going to
think.
do a countdown. I was waiting for the countdown.
Oh, he can't do it because his fingers are all being used
yeah.
on the keyboard. You can't do the...
How about you nod? Just give me a nod when you want me to come in.
Okay.
I'm Jason.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Brian.
And this is the exciting and new podcast. And this week we tackle what movie, Brian?
Conan the Barbarian.
Conan?
And,
Conan the Barbarian or Conan?
Conan.
Conan.
Kanan. This movie came out on a special birthday of Brian here. May 14th, 1982 is the year this movie was first released in theaters in the U.S. And Brian was turning...
I was turning 12 and discovering my body.
He's still discovering it, and he's still...
It's falling apart on him. Every time he looks, something's falling off of him.
That's true.
Stop touching yourself so much. Maybe that's what's happening.
So this is our new format, so we're just going to dive in.
Yeah, I don't want to...
Right?
We're certainly not going to go scene by scene because the first
and we're
half
not
hour
go
of
through
this
the cast,
movie-
really, because we really only have a few people to talk
Yeah.
about. Obviously, Arnold Schwarzenegger is playing Conan, or QAnon. Any of those pronunciations
And this was
of his name.
early Arnold, like pre-Terminator, and really that's all you need to say because everything else is after Terminator.
Yeah, before this, you just think of him talking about him coming so much.
Well, I was going to say Pumping Iron and Hercules were before this, but no one saw those back then.
No.
They saw them after Arnold got big. But the one thing I noticed is Arnold had already that Arnold charisma in this. There were times where I was like, I wouldn't have
swagger.
Yeah, I wouldn't have probably picked up on it in 1982, but knowing who Arnold becomes, I was like, oh yeah, look, he's kind of Arnoldy here.
It's funny you said it because at one point I was looking at it, I was like, this guy, what a life. I was like, he was governor at one point too. You think, it's like he did so much.
He did a lot. He's still alive. He can still do more. But I did like the fact that I don't think Arnold spoke until about 35 minutes into the movie.
Yeah,
Did
well,
anyone speak?
What's that?
Did anyone speak in the beginning of the movie?
Well, just the narrator, who you meet an hour into the movie. It's very strange that the main star doesn't
Well, the
speak.
writers were the same as the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Well, did you see who one of the writers
I did
was?
see who the second writer was. I don't know who
yeah.
the first one was, but the second writer was Oliver Stone.
Yeah, that was the one that I
and there had to only been like 5 pages of dialogue.
Yeah.
And lots of stare at each
like
other.
nudity, child nudity.
It must have been a lot of setup scenes in the script. Just pan the horizon for 3 minutes and then go to the next scene.
This is also Dino De Laurentiis. That's a name you hear synonymous
Back then, for
with,
sure,
a lot of those kind of movies around that time, but also a lot of like sex in movies, right? Like
and
he
the
had
spaghetti westerns.
Yeah.
westerns. Yeah,
I was watching Spaghetti Western. I was watching Once Upon a Time in the West earlier today.
Oh.
Great movie. Henry Fonda and Charles Bronson.
too bad we weren't doing that year.
That's like in 68 or something like that.
So
Maybe
that's
69.
some of the latter years of those.
It was
guys
after
I'm
all
mentioning.
the. It was after all the Eastwood ones because he was.
Was that streaming on something or?
It was just on TV. It was like I get one like movie channel, Epics, I think.
So I
so
was
there's-
going to say, like,
or no,
Turner Classic
it's not.
or
It's not even
something.
that. It was I get like drive-ins. Is that what they're called when you?
Diners, driving,
When you
drive
drive-
with Guy Fieri.
Is that what it's called when you go to the place and you sit in
Drive-in
the car and watch
movie theater?
drive-in? Yeah. So it's called drive-in TV or something like that, and they always have movies on.
Oh, that
there.
sounds like a fun
Yeah.
channel, like
But anyway.
especially play something so random like that. I like that.
Yeah. So Arnold, one of the other things I noticed is, and I was while watching this, every time he did it, I kind of giggled to myself because he's making those Arnold sounds already. Like every time he's fighting, he's going, like, which would become so part of him in Total Recall and all those movies.
even
not
in-
Total Recall. The Mars one, right? Total Recall. Oh my God, he
And
makes
just
that
even
sound
in
1,000 times in that
people's
movie.
impressions of him,
Yep.
you heard the noises of the things that are.
And
coming.
this is
Yeah.
like you watch this, and this is like proto Arnold. Like you can just see all the things that are going to come from this guy.
I mean, this is obviously key physique. I mean, this is like
man,
top
he
physique
is
here. I mean, 1980,
ripped.
82 is just insane.
and one of the guys
man.
even comments, he's like, "You got a good body. Why are you covering it up or something like that?"
There was some really silly humor in
there
it at
is
times,
some
like
very
like,
strange humor. Yes,
when Mako
Mako.
goes off and kicks that one guy who was standing there next to Conan for no.
And that guy who said that wanted to have sex with him.
I think so. Was that the priest? Was that the
Yeah.
priest he beat up and then
Priest.
took his
And
costume?
he said, let's go somewhere quiet.
That's right. He did want to go somewhere quiet.
Yeah, and because he got excited, he's like, "Yeah, we'll go, brother," and that's what he was just stealing when he was stealing the.
I do find it interesting. I wanted to point out that the kid that played Arnold in that first scene
Looked just like him.
dude, great casting. I was like, this looks like a young Arnold Schwarzenegger. I was
thought
was
the same
shocked
thing.
by how much
At
he looked
one
like
point, I was
him.
like, "Could it possibly be a relation?"
did
or,
they de-age him?
or I was like,
did they do that? in
did
1982?
is that the kid that he had with the
ugly maid?
housekeeper or whatever?
And his mom was hot.
Arnold's mom? Oh, the movie mom. Yeah.
That's a great scene too, because that's a decapitation by James Earl Jones,
and a off-screen decapitation, but you know what happens
because you see
the head.
the kid's holding his mom's hand, and then all of a sudden the
She
body
she
just
tilts sideways.
slowly slips out
And
of
no
his hand.
dialogue. No dialogue during that entire fight.
No, he's just
Just
looking down at the
staring
kid.
and-
He stared her down, and then he turned away, and then
we didn't really get dialogue at first until because it was the wizard talking, right?
it was
Telling
just
us
the
story,
voiceover
basically,
stuff. Yeah.
And James Earl Jones' hair.
So yeah, the other main star was James Earl Jones, fresh off of Empire Strikes Back.
Yes, at this time he said "son" in this at one point too, and it made me think of what's that guy in that movie?
The one that he does with Empire Strikes
that
Back.
big movie. What was that called?
Darky McDarkinson.
He was that hair was interesting because it was like so
Everyone's hair.
phony
man.
looking.
Oh,
Oh,
my God.
I said the same thing. I thought the hair was horrible in this. Not just James Earl Jones, because first of all, James Earl Jones, his hair was normal on top, and then it's like the sides just grew really long. Like, why didn't they make it like part in the middle
and like
it just-
iron pressed straight hair. I was like,
Bangs.
this is
He
so
liked
silly.
bangs.
Yeah, it's just. And then
Christine was disgusted with this movie, by the way.
did she watch the whole thing with
She
you?
did not. She walked out when Arnold was talking, and she was like, how did he learn how to talk? He was just pushing that thing for his entire life.
But pushing what thing?
Pushing
the wheel. Oh,
yeah.
Well, why did he have a different accent than everybody else? Because they all seem to live in the same
His father
country
didn't have
area,
that accent.
right? His mom didn't. Well, I guess you don't know what his mom sounded like. She never talked. But like,
he's the only one left from his area.
I guess everybody else died spinning the
all
wheel.
the other kids died.
That's pretty cool. But look how they
'cause it
made
was
him
just
into a
him,
big
man.
muscle man.
Yeah, it was.
These are my muscle men, Daddy.
I can't wait for the next season of that.
I thought this movie was pretty not that good. I think I've made the comment in the past that I'm not a big sand and sandal sword guy.
I thought the storytelling was very slow at point. Pretty much more than half of the.
I thought it was a horrible movie.
Yeah,
and that's coming from me.
And it
That's saying something, right?
and it's
there.
weird because there were times where it didn't look cheap. Like some of those inside scenes.
I was
looked
trying to look at some of those
really
too,
expensive sets. I was like,
what
they
was
didn't
very
cheap out
cheap
on this.
was a lot of the action and fighting scenes
Well-
because I don't think anybody made any contact.
I did a little bit of research.
Did any horses die?
No, but apparently they had no stuntmen. Like everybody had to do their own stunts.
Okay.
And I don't think it was a budget thing. I think it was just like no one looked like Arnold. So they're like, sorry, dude, you got to do your own stunts. So maybe that's why the fighting looked shitty because.
And he wasn't famous. So they wouldn't care. If
Yeah,
he
right.
died,
If he got his head knocked off, they'd be like, well, insurance will cover that. Move on to the next one.
We need him on the set of Twilight Zone, the movie, in a couple years.
Oh, jeez.
Too soon?
Maybe for the Morrow family. Yeah, I thought it was a movie that looked cheap and not cheap all at the same time.
I was kind of looking for that in like the set, like to see like when you had like the mountains in the background a couple times.
It
I was
must have
looking
been.
for that.
I don't know
Yeah.
where it was filmed, but it was definitely filmed like on location
I want
somewhere.
to say
Mongolia,
Tunisia. I
yeah,
think
something like
Tunisia.
that, right?
Oh, Tunisia.
No, I was just saying that because that's where they filmed Tatooine.
Well, this looked a little more
Cold.
Yeah, it looked more rugged than Tatooine. It didn't look as flat, deserty.
I saw the name of a tattoo shop, and it was Tatooine. I don't think I liked it.
Oh, speaking of tattoos.
Oh, you got one?
Are we doing tattoo? Are we giving ourselves exciting new tattoos?
Oh, you
Well,
got the gun?
We have to decide. Well, I didn't get a gun. I got a hand poke kit.
Dude,
That's the old school
get
one.
the hell out of here, man.
And some ink.
Really? Are we going to give ourselves tattoos?
Well, I'll be giving them to you guys.
What about you? You're not going to get one?
I'll have to give one to myself, or you guys can give it to me.
Dude, my hand steady enough for it.
We have to decide on a pattern.
It's not going to be my shitty hand-drawn exciting and new our faces.
Well, we could,
logo?
but how big are we going to make that?
Oh,
We're gonna
I want it
do
on my-
one's
Oh, I was
this
I want my
big.
whole back.
I was also going to get Mr. Horton across my back for.
I was thinking maybe I could just put dots on us, and that would symbolize that.
Interesting.
That's gonna be fun.
Speaking of tattooing ourselves for this, I don't think I ever liked, like I said, these kind of sorcery
You
movies.
You definitely mentioned to me about not
until
liking sand.
until
and
Lord of the
sandal
Rings.
movies.
I think Lord of the Rings was like probably. So we're talking.
Were you hesitant to watch Lord of the Rings at first?
Nah, I saw it in the theater, like maybe not opening weekend, but I saw it in the theater.
I wonder,
But all those guys got tattoos.
Yeah.
The whole cast got like some kind of elvish.
Oh, I did hear
tattoo or
about something along that
an
lines. Yeah,
an
Elvin.
Elvis tattoo.
Elvin, right?
Elvin.
Elvin tattoo.
We can get 1982.
But what happens
What about
next year?
1983? Yeah.
Well, we'll just keep adding to it.
Keep the list. What do all those numbers signify?
Cross out the 2 and then put a 3, or make the 2 a 3. You know.
And then when you make the 3 a 4, it'll just look terrible.
I can make really crappy ETs on all of us.
No, like
I want Arnold.
from the Atari. Remember from the Atari 2600 ET game, how bad that was.
The ones that are all buried in New Mexico or something like that.
That's the ET you got to put on. Why don't we do like a captain's wheel?
This box says
Oh,
recreating the
yeah.
beauty of tattoos. If you're doing it with these things, man, there's no beauty in this.
I think I might get a captain's wheel. I think that's what I'm going to go for
That's good.
on my knee.
I mean,
On
this
your
was-
kneecap? A tattoo on your kneecap. Ooh, that sounds like it'll hurt.
Yeah, I've been thinking about getting my knees done. I also want to get my hands done, but not yet. I don't.
You know, I've
I'll get
never
that.
I've
I'm
never
gonna have a
given
professional
one.
do my hands.
how hard am I going to have to stab you guys?
Well, that's right. I want
Is
you
it
to watch.
electric? Is it electric? Does it go?
Oh no,
No, that's the hand. That's
Just
the
poke,
you're gonna have to
poke,
tap.
poke, poke.
Does it come with a little hammer to tap?
No, it just has these things. And
Because I think you need to hammer. I don't think you should just go like this. That'll be.
I mean, it was $5.99. So.
And I'm not sharing needles with him.
No, it's got 10 sterile needles.
Good. Well, I can make him sterile after the fact. Just
Oh, there you go. And then I bought this ink because I wasn't sure of the ink in there. This one's at least organic.
Mom's ink.
Yeah.
I think I've heard of that for some reason.
I think it's a well-known one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Either I'll just squirt it on us.
So you don't have any tattoos? Do you have any tattoos?
I don't have
No.
any tattoos now. I like the idea of the captain wheel, though.
Right?
Yeah.
I think we should each get our hand-drawn face on the side of our neck. We each get our own face just tattooed right here.
We have to do it ourselves with a mirror.
In a mirror.
And with that, so you can't even like at
Just,
least
like, jamming something in the jugular, like-
with the needle, we could be like this way, but that we're gonna be like.
Now, the electric guns were only like $20 more, but I was like,
Yeah, I have no problem going to a tattoo parlor and having a professional do it.
You know what though? Seriously, I'll go get a captain's wheel somewhere.
Okay.
We'll go get real tattoos.
I'm down for that.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's go. So Conan, fuck it, bye. No. But anyway, I was going to point out
There's
that
other things we could discuss.
well, there was
about it.
definitely a rape scene in there, right? I mean, Arnold was in
Well, they
prison,
brought-
and they brought the other woman in
It
there
said-
to
and
mate. They
for
said
breeding,
to
yeah.
breed. Yeah,
and the
right.
wizard
And-
mentioned that this wasn't like the first one. It was like he got to know women because
was a
there
stud.
was he was like
so they were
stud that
just
kept
throwing
breeding.
women in
Yeah.
there, which I mean, it's
But that's
great,
where I
but
said he was a gentle lover because he brought her in and like kind of covered her up and
He
then
covered her up and then took it
took
right
her
off.
right off. Had this stinky bear
he just
run
didn't want
around
them.
you.
He didn't want the people standing outside watching. A lot of
as
voyeurs.
they were watching.
A lot of voyeurs.
There were like 10 people staring in.
And I did watch the whole thing with my mom. So.
Yeah, I thought I saw people like standing in the back, like looking over the other guy's shoulders, like what's going on?
You got to imagine that there's bars on the other side, on the camera's side,
right.
looking through that side too, right?
Oh, I remember when Christine walked out.
Oh.
When she laughed.
She waited through the rape scene.
And what? No, yeah, she made it through the rape scene, but the witch when he threw her to the fire,
And she immediately burst into flames.
Yes. She walked out. She was like, "I can't watch any more of this."
The dubbing in that scene was
Yeah,
insane.
terrible.
Because she's like, ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Just like-
It was a very uncomfortable love scene.
And you had to be like, Mom, could you pass the
Now,
popcorn?
I saw something that was interesting. So there was a sequel to this, Conan the Destroyer, which I have not also.
Came
I've
out
seen
in
that
84.
either.
I looked it up.
And I believe that's got Grace Jones and Wilt Chamberlain.
Wilt
I wanna
Chamberlain,
say?
yes.
So
And
they're in it. Do you know who-
I think
do you
I
know who Wilt
actually
Chamberlain is?
saw that.
You know who Wilt Chamberlain is?
The basketball
Yeah, he's
player.
best.
Mako was also in that one.
Oh, was he? Oh, so is the narrating that too? Well, I'll tell you a little story about that also.
Mako?
But
Mako,
the wizard.
the-
Mako.
No, his name is Mako. I heard it in an
Oh.
interview. Was somebody said Mako? Yeah,
Oh, it's spelled like Mako.
Mako.
Well, it's
Yeah.
Japanese, so how do you know what it's spelled like? It's spelled
true.
Japanese letters.
That's right. I don't know. I was going to say, how can I look that up? But I don't know how to look that up.
Siri, how do you pronounce Mako? Mako.
Siri, who's
but
in this picture?
There was a third movie, Red Sonja, with Brigitte Nielsen as Sonja, and Arnold
Yeah.
is in it.
He's not Conan.
But he is. But his
I
name's
know,
like
his character's
King,
not,
It's
though,
like
yeah.
King blah blah blah, and
Wasn't he a king at the end of this movie?
well, they said he's gonna be king when they narrated the end.
Yeah, because
And-
the 2 hours that they had, they couldn't fit that in.
but I think that's
We
what
couldn't
the,
see him drop off the girl to Max von Sydow.
Oh, no, Max von Sydow's in it for a minute and a half.
He gets like, oh my god, he's gonna be so mad. He's like, I'm just fucking with you. Sit down.
Yeah, there was a lot of capturing to do nothing with. Arnold got captured like 7 times
Yeah.
in this and just kept okay.
Getting let go or
Maybe-
sneaking
maybe-
out.
maybe just
and
kill him.
also he's able to sneak into large venues with lots of people that would recognize him and know that he doesn't belong there.
Well, I didn't pick up on. I didn't pick up on the fact. Like I didn't get how when he dressed up as the priest, they grabbed him. Like what did he do
Infidels.
that like?
It made me think that not everybody had those things on their like the hat or whatever
Okay.
that was hanging down there. So it made me think the people wearing those were known as infidels already coming there,
I
so
don't
they
know.
grabbed him and others. I don't know.
Like all of a sudden they grabbed him.
That's what I
Like,
told myself in my head. 'Cause I
Well,
thought I
nothing
missed
was
something, too.
explained.
I was like, what gave him away? He's dressed as a priest.
Because
Like,
because he's like how big he is,
and
probably.
I was surprised that when they did storm the castle there, that they
Was that
had
January 6th.
they had the shooting at the walls of heartache, bang bang, paint on their face and stuff like that. And I was like, is that camouflage for inside a temple? Because they were sneaking around like they were camouflaged. I was like, they are in bleach white, like their skin is super super white because they
What was
and then they had black
what was his
stripes across.
partner's name? Sabai.
I couldn't even
I don't
care to remember.
We'll call him Stu.
I was going to call him, what's his name? Enrico Montoya. You killed my
Enrico,
father.
yeah.
Whatever. The guy from Princess Bride. He reminded me of him. But they were like bleached white with black stripes on them. And that was supposed to be
Completely useless
That was supposed to be
camouflage.
camouflage for inside the temple. But it seemed like it worked because they were sneaking around in there.
Subotai. Subotai. Still alive.
Still alive.
Born in 48.
Did he die during the movie?
No.
Did his character die?
No, the girl died.
I know with a snake.
Snake arrow.
Yeah, and then she comes back and
she's in
Valeria.
She's in Red Sonja also as the queen, but not the same
Is she
person.
dead and still like a ghost? Or
I never saw Red Sonja. I was just looking up because it said,
you know what?
she
It's
comes
actually
back.
Red Sanja. It is what a day. I love that.
It might be. But I find it interesting that she comes back. And one of the bad guys that, he killed at the end, whoever, one of those guys, I think the tall guy, was
one
in.
One of them seemed like Matt Damon to me for some reason.
Like the second guy, the next guy down,
The one who
James Earl
raised the
Jones.
snake.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But one of the, I guess it was the other guy, the
Meth
tall guy,
Damon.
was in all three of them as different characters in all three of them in Destroyer and
This
and
is like
Red
this
Sonja.
is like Love Boat.
And he's like an Arnold. He's like an Arnold guy. He was in like Total Recall.
he's like one of his, like-
He was
and
Jack,
Predator.
He's
and-
like Gary Marshall's. I can't think of that guy's name. Damn, that would have been so great. I would have sounded so smart. Gary Marshall put a guy in all of his movies.
Clint Howard,
No,
Penny Marshall.
nah, I think a Spanish guy.
No, I don't know who
Can't
that
think of
is.
his name. Yeah,
But yeah, so that guy is like an Arnold, and he's still alive too, and he's like in every Arnold movie for a
That's
while.
cool.
Like later on, he's
Steve
not, but-
Buscemi and Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, Buscemi, what are you doing, dude? You do so much better than that.
Yeah, he's even done like directing and like just don't do that.
I think he's like one of those guys that everybody's like, oh, Buscemi, like cool. I'm watching this because he's in it or he's wrote it or whatever.
Yeah,
but
like
then
he's gonna go crazy.
then he's
in
doing
this or
every
something
Adam
silly,
Sandler
yeah.
movie. Like, ugh, that must be his just paycheck movie. Like, I'm going to do my own independent stuff, and then when Adam calls me, I'm going to ask him for $1 million, and I'll get it. And
Just go
probably
have,
has a
just
lot
go
of
have
fun.
fun and hang out. Yeah.
because Adam Sandler, all he does now is plan his vacations around every one of his movies. Every one of his movies is like in some exotic location. So he's like,
Bora.
I'm doing some bullshit movie for Netflix that nobody will watch, but will somehow be the most downloaded movie ever in Netflix history. And yeah, we're going to do it in Thailand. How about? Yeah, that sounds like
That one might be a little dangerous.
Well, when he's bringing his family and stuff like that.
Starring Gary Glitter.
Is he in jail?
I think so. I think they arrested him in Thailand or something. Brian?
Who's Gary Glitter?
Well, wait, he's famous for his song that was played at most sports venues. Hey!
Hey!
But he was.
But Brian doesn't know sports, so he's never heard that song before.
But he may know that Gary Glitter got in trouble for diddling with young boys.
Lady boys?
Nah, just regular
just
boys.
young boys,
Oh.
yeah.
Just
But then,
any kind of boys,
I
guess.
believe he ran. I don't. This could be wrong. He went to Thailand, but that's where he was like found. And
I mean, if
I
you're
believe
gonna
he's in
like
jail.
try to have sex with little boys, Thailand's the place to go. So if you're gonna run there.
It's true.
Why is that? What's going
can
on?
we
in
cut
Thailand?
that and clip that part for the edit?
What, for having sex with little boys? Go to Thailand.
Yeah, that'd be perfect for their. Maybe we can get sponsored. Air
And we,
Thailand.
and we
King of
wonder,
Thailand.
and we,
Air Thailand.
and we wonder why we don't get sponsors.
Air Thailand.
Oh my God,
We starting a Patreon.
we should. We should put
we
all
ha-
of
we
our.
have a lot of extra
I
material.
was gonna say we should put all our extra material on Patreon.
What can we should we set up a merch store where we have the merch like available, like maybe say here's the logo and shirts, but we don't have them made to
all
order.
These places
My
do
sister
that
can
now.
make it to order. So
I mean, all these places have made to order stuff like that.
do you want I think we should come up with some ideas for that.
I agree.
I can make a storefront.
Yeah. Yeah, because we got that page right on there, like a shop, like kind of.
Yeah, I can just add one onto there.
Would you like to drink coffee with Jason, Andy, and Brian? Here's a coffee mug with our faces on it.
Right,
There we
that's
go.
fun. Yeah, and then
That's good.
the higher up, maybe we can have him. They could come on and be a guest.
We'll do
you know?
commercials.
Fake commercials.
I like commercials. I want to.
What do you mean commercials?
For our merchandise.
Oh!
We
I
can
thought
do
you meant
commercials.
commercials on the website. Like,
We could do commercials for our merchandise, but we could also. I like that idea. I mentioned that I think one other night, doing fake commercial, just to get it like going to make it sound like we have something, and then people.
are you looking for that special
Look.
gift this year for Christmas?
Look.
Try the exciting and new podcast T-shirt.
When I listen to a podcast, usually I have to skip through some ads.
Sure.
You know, when I listen to our podcast, I don't skip through anything.
We don't. I don't want to deter anybody.
The worst thing a podcast can do is play music behind their ads that are dropped in the middle of their podcast, because that lets my ear hear where I can stop skipping.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I don't hear music, I'm like, okay, they're done with the commercial.
And then
I usually have to back.
and I go
I usually
ahead,
have to back up 15 seconds, but it gets me right through the commercial.
And it's crazy stuff because then you got to remember, like, if you go forward, it's 30 seconds.
Yep.
But then
Back
you're
it's
like, back
15.
up. And then yeah, we'll do some commercials. Come up
Do
with
some
some ideas.
commercials, and then I'll get the music going.
And we will put music behind our commercials because we'll do that for our fans, right?
So
Sure.
they can skip through. Just not our.
I guess that's going to help us get sponsors too. Just this is how you're going to skip through and put music behind it.
How anybody sponsors podcasts at all? I mean, honestly, I don't understand it. I mean, I zip through every commercial, especially when it's like someone else's voice. Like if it's not even like
Yeah,
the
it's like-
people you're
it's
listening
not even
to.
like you're stuck listening, having to listen to it. Like
There's nothing preventing you. Like YouTube, you can't skip past
I have
the
YouTube
commercial until they
Premium, so
tell
I don't
you.
get that.
But I'm saying
Yeah.
for any
anybody
normal
else, yeah.
person that doesn't want to pay for YouTube, because why the fuck would you pay for YouTube?
yeah, I don't.
Oh, you don't pay for it?
Nah,
someone
somebody
else's. But the fact they make you watch, and now it's getting to the point where it's like 2 15-second commercials to watch a 5-minute clip.
or even less.
Or even less, like a 3-minute
Yeah.
music
That-
video or something like that. You're like,
It's very annoying, especially like when you're like, "Hey, oh yeah," but it's me and you were talking, and it's like, "Hey, man, let me look that up real quick," and and it's 15.
and you got to
seconds.
start with a commercial.
Yeah, and it's like-
I listen to one podcast where they try to play clips, and he's always like, "God damn commercials!" It's like, you two just vamp for a couple seconds. He's like, "Hang on."
and that sometimes that 15 seconds is the longest.
it's the longest 15 seconds ever.
I mean,
Oh yeah, I hate commercials so much.
think about the things we're complaining about right now.
15-second commercials, right? You watch TV, it's like 7 minutes of commercials.
And we're still supposed to be talking about Conan.
Oh yeah, we'll go back to Conan. I'm sorry,
Conan.
we
So
do. We also have to give our rating. We want to make sure we give a rating. I think we should do it out of 100. I think that should be our rating system.
all right, that makes it
0 to
easier if we're going to
100,
do like
yeah.
100 movies. You know,
No,
I'm gonna have to
not
juggle.
like that.
I know,
You're right,
but
but I know what you
I'm
meant.
always have to go back to that. If I gave Conan a 90, how can I give E.T. a 50?
Can we can we maybe start get maybe a spreadsheet and we can keep that on our website as well too of,
And we
of
can't
our
re-
scores.
We can't repeat our score either.
Whoa.
So if you can only give one movie like 100,
Oh,
but
Oh, I don't like that.
and then
That's tough.
you may end up giving, you may run out of low scores. You might have to give a movie you hate a high score.
Yeah.
all I've been doing is giving movies 10s and 20s. Now I got to give fucking whatever terrible movie a 60 because that's all I got left.
Yeah.
That's a bad
I,
idea.
I like the idea, but I think should we do a spreadsheet?
Yeah, I
And
can
we'll
do
start
that.
a spreadsheet of our scores.
and it's
so-
a picture of our faces like,
and then like Jason with a 42%, if that's whatever the movie was, you know what I mean? For 1942, I put 42%.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of a movie note.
was there a movie called
with number.
1942?
I think so.
And there was
wasn't there?
1941. John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd?
Didn't I say 41?
You said 42, but that's close enough.
42.
Oh, yeah. 220, 221.
I was going to say
whatever
41,
it takes.
42, whatever it takes.
Mr. Mom.
Is it too early
I
for
think,
Scotch?
Mr. Mom's 84, maybe.
I feel like
85,
I
right?
feel Mr. Mom was earlier than that.
Do you think it was
That-
before 82?
I feel it's like one of the first movies I ever saw in the theater, even though I saw Star Wars and Airplane in the theater. But I don't know. It feels like
Do you
I
want
saw
me to
that
ask
somewhere.
Alexa?
Mr. Mom is 1983.
83. All right, so next year we'll get to that. See? This is going to work. We're going to get to some
I think we're
awesome
gonna have
movies,
some fun
man.
movies.
Just good.
And I think-
It's bad that we started with Conan because it's not a good movie, but there was really no other good place to start in 1982.
And we could do some. I know we don't have a Patreon yet, but we could do some Patreons where we do the different years. I think
That's
that could
a
be
good idea.
one of our different.
So we're not stuck just going in order. We
And
can
also
do
to be
a
able to go
one-off.
back and say, "Oh man, how cool would it be? This movie's celebrating its 50th anniversary or something this year, or 45th anniversary. Maybe we want to do a movie from the year you were born, or maybe the movie the year Brian was born. Was that the same year? Or no?
Same year.
All right.
But way, way different ages. I mean,
What? I didn't hear that.
You're gonna have to listen
I
to
was
that one.
commenting that you're so much older than me. Even though
2 months.
Even though we're born in the
2
same year.
months.
Because I would definitely, I would love to do like Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles. Those are two from my birth year.
Both in the same year.
Yeah.
Wow. Mel Brooks was on fire.
No, I believe he was actually not. It's just he lived is what I was going for. But what about the year you were born? What would do you know any off the top of your head? Or
No, I don't. 1970? I don't know. I know Godfather is 72. That's celebrating its 50th right
year.
now. But I don't know 1970.
Do you have any
well.
1970 movies right there in front of you, Brian, by any chance? Or no?
Alexa, what are some movies from 1970?
Really? We're doing this?
Do we have to pay Alexa now?
This is not a good idea.
She didn't do anything.
Yeah, we can't have.
I thought he was
Alexa
just going
on
to
here.
Google it. I thought he had Google up in there.
Oh, I
didn't
can
know.
put Google
Yeah.
up. 1970.
Because everybody wants to listen to people clicking away on their computers while they're doing a podcast.
Here we go.
I asked him because I
MASH.
thought he had Google up.
MASH.
MASH, nice.
MASH,
Great
Love
movie.
Story, Kelly's Heroes, The
Oh,
Aristocats.
Kelly's Heroes. I actually want to see it. Did you ever see the cast for that?
I've seen the movie. Yeah,
Wait a
yeah,
second.
yeah.
This
Heroes.
can't be right. That's Woodstock, the movie. That can't have come out.
Sure, because
Yeah,
Woodstock was in
69.
69, so it
Oh,
probably
okay.
took a little while to put it together.
Patton,
Great movie.
Yeah.
Little Big Man.
Isn't that a Wayne's brother movie?
No, Dustin Hoffman. Tora,
I never saw it.
the Molly Maguire.
A lot of World War II movies already. Like, and I guess MASH is Korea, but a lot of war movies.
They Call Me Trinity.
Is that the chick from Matrix
There Was a Crooked Man.
who went a crooked mile?
Scrooge.
Who's
Bill Murray?
is that? No, that's I think that's what's his name? Who's Scrooge in that?
Let me say. Scrooge. Oh, I had to click on it. Hold on.
No rush.
Ah, man.
okay.
He's usually good with computers, isn't he?
But it's my eyes. Albert Finney.
Albert Finney, yeah.
Yeah, wow. Albert Finney. Just the recently late Albert Finney.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just far. Oh, Planet of the Apes. Just far enough away that my readers can't pick it up. But
Is
then
that the
my
first
regular
Planet
eyes
of the
can.
Apes?
Yeah, the original Planet of the Apes was
I
70?
thought it was 60s.
I thought it was like 68 or something like that.
Well, here, let's see.
Is that Escape or
Oh, there
Beneath?
might be something
That
written
could be the
on,
TV
on
series.
top of it.
What
Hold
year
on.
was the TV series? That was in the
Mid-seventies,
70s, right?
yeah.
No, Beneath the Planet.
that
of
was the
Apes.
sequel. That was the first sequel
Yeah, it's hard to read all this stuff.
where they
Airport.
nuked the entire planet and yet somehow had many
What was that?
sequels.
New York, New York?
No,
Airport.
Airport. Oh, that'd be a fun one.
Oh, Connor watched for the first time Airplane, and it was just like he'd never even heard of it.
And did
How-
he find
wait,
it
how old's
funny or
Connor?
is it 20?
24.
Okay. And what did he think of it?
I think he loved it.
Did he? Because like it's
That's
weird
good
how
to
like
hear,
that
man.
that humor might not like play in 2022.
Even Christine came in and watched that.
That's good to hear because
Yeah.
a lot of times, like you said, you hear, "Oh, this isn't funny. This is stupid. I've seen this so many times before. Why is this funny?"
Well, I have that. I have
Katie
that
and
story
Brady
like
that kind of got him to watch it.
My brother-in-law one day was telling me he's like he never saw Animal House. I was like, oh, dude, you got to watch Animal House. So he watched it and called me up. He's like, dude, all these jokes are like I've seen all this stuff before. I'm like, no, Airplane did them all first.
Yeah, this
you
was-
saw
what
them
was that,
ripped off in other
79?
things.
80?
80 maybe.
Yeah, certain things he would hear, and he would be like, "Okay, I've heard that."
Surely
before.
you must be joking.
Yeah.
That kind of
No,
stuff.
surely you can't be serious.
Surely you can't be
And what else did he say? What'd you have for dinner? He said, "What were your choices?"
Chicken and steak. Right, I had the fish or fish and steak. Right, I had the lasagna.
Fish and beef.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I had the lasagna.
Logan watched Caddyshack the other day, maybe with Brady.
Yeah,
For the first time?
And they liked
had
it
he
a
seen it
lot.
before?
No, he'd seen like me watching it and walk in, and I'd be like, "Oh, you gotta watch the scene." But
you get a free bowl of soup.
he really liked it. He's seen so many movies now that he's picking up on people that he knows.
I know he's watched a lot of 80s movies
Oh yeah,
and stuff like that.
I mean, I
right?
think
Yeah.
Breakfast Club is still his favorite '80s movie. But
Have you sang L to the OG? Have you sang that to him yet?
no,
or no?
and he wouldn't get that reference at all. That's from Succession. You got to watch Succession.
Oh, okay.
I know I keep throwing shows on you to watch, and you're like,
But
yeah, it's on my
Succession should go to the top of the list.
Yeah.
All other shows should be dropped for Succession. And by the way,
Oh, yeah, talk to him about this.
well, what am I talking to him about?
What you're about to say,
Oh, how do you know what I'm going to say?
because I think I know what you're going to say.
Michelle watched Bridgerton today,
Oh, yeah.
and she said, Brian Alpin watches this? She's like, this is really femme for me. And I was like, yeah, look who you're talking about.
I love that.
Oh, my God. She was like, it's really, because I said,
I like period pieces.
yeah, but this is like a fake period piece.
Listen,
isn't
is that
it?
any way to talk about women?
This has
Well, I cleaned out the garage today. Michelle watched Bridgerton, and I kept walking. I'm like, "Is this something I want to watch?" She's like, "No." She's
That's
like,
why-
"You
is that why you were
would
listening to
hate
Fights?
this." Oh, I was listening.
Did you
to
watch
a lot.
season 1 or season 2?
Dude, I have no idea. I honestly don't even know what it's a movie or a show. I don't know.
Simone Ashley in season 2 is reason enough for you to watch it.
Yeah, but
I told you, Andy, I don't need that.
there's no chick hot enough to make me sit through like 8 hours of a TV show. There's not. She's not sucking my dick, dude. I don't give a shit, man. Like, how hot is she? Like, she's not hot enough.
I guess you didn't watch The Gilded Age either.
Never even heard of it. I mean, I heard of
That's
the actual
HBO
Gilded
Max.
Age.
I've heard of that show. What's that on? Is that Netflix? Or
HBO Max.
what is it? It's a period piece too.
It's a
isn't it?
period piece. Yeah.
It's about the Gilded Age, I assume.
The Gilded Age. Yeah, when the Astors and it's about society coming up in society and how the new money, like the Rockefellers,
It was like
and
the Great
Carnegies were trying
Gatsby,
to
Great
break into
Gatsby era,
society.
like that, right? That's the Gilded
Is that a
Age.
series or a movie?
It's a series.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Nope. But I'll watch Peaky Blinders.
Did you start that one?
I watched the whole first season years ago, and I kept
That's
telling
the
Michelle,
Irish mob. or
Irish
whatever?
mob after World War One, and
Oh, it's that far back. World War One.
all these guys are coming back. They're all vets coming back from World War One, and they are all fucked up with PTSD, and they're just like, they're having issues.
Well,
coming
cocaine
back.
was legal back then.
They're having issues. It's a lot of betting. It's a lot of gambling and like fixed horse races and stuff like that. That's a lot of it. But
Well, you got the White Sox in 1919.
yeah, same year. 1919 is the year this takes place. But yeah, Peaky Blinders is great. I just got to get back into it. Watching.
I see that one all the time. I've never watched it, but I was always like, I hear
Yeah, the
a
first
couple
season
people
was
said
awesome.
good things about it, but
Would you ever watch like Upstairs, Downstairs, or what's the one?
that's British, right? That's British.
Is that a comedy or
Upstairs, Downstairs? That one is British, yeah.
sounds like a British show?
Downton Abbey.
because
no,
is it the
I would never watch Downton
what's
Abbey.
because Three's Company is based off of a British show. It
Oh,
sounds like
that's
something like that.
Man About the House.
Yeah.
What about Another Period?
Another period joke? What are you talking about?
No, it's a show called Another Period.
Nah, I don't even know what that is. But
That one you actually would probably
What's
like.
that?
Nah.
It's got like Jason Mantzoukas and
I like that.
I got to be
He's
honest,
funny.
Brian.
David Wayne.
You recommending a show holds zero weight with me.
I do
because
like
of your
that guy that
terrible
he didn't mention.
track.
I know you didn't watch The League. That's a very
But
funny
I know
show.
him.
The League.
He was also
Oh, yeah.
in.
Like everyone.
Wasn't he
from
the voice
league
of Tommy Lee's
is in
penis?
this.
I believe he was.
Yeah.
Yes, I think you're
Oh,
right.
Mantzoukas
Is
was-
Tommy Lee's
I'm going to look
penis.
that up real quick.
But Brian's recommendations hold zero weight based on a litany of terrible picks.
But I like them.
I know, but don't suggest you got to think like, what would a regular person think of?
I see Another Period. I think you might not, watch it, sit down and watch the entire season, but
Do I have to sit down and pee and watch it?
no.
I got no signal down here.
What?
Do you know what's her name? What's her name? I'm going to look it up now.
No.
I think it's just Google acting up.
Have
here.
we? The rails have.
There,
We are
it-
so
it is.
far.
It was him.
We are so
Natasha
far from-
Leggero.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, she's
I
the
don't know if I
lead.
know her.
Ricky Lindholm. Home.
Oh wait, that's a comedy show? I know where they reenact it, right? Is that the one you're talking
Well,
about?
no, it's
like
a-
Drunk History.
It's on Another Period because it's a period piece, but it's they're a wealthy family. David Koechner is the head of the family.
I think that was a Comedy Central show.
It is Comedy
Right?
Central. Yeah, it's very funny.
Natasha Leggero was really funny in the Dice series on Showtime. That was only like 2 seasons.
Vinyl?
No, it was a show called Dice. It was 2 seasons.
Oh, really?
Really
Wait,
funny.
with Dice?
With Dice, yeah.
Oh, I don't even
She
know
was
that one.
Dice's like girl. That was
I
really,
can see
really
that.
funny.
Yeah, she's hot. Too.
Yeah,
I didn't
like
know
her.
Dice had his own show. I mean, I know he had.
It was a few
filming
years.
shows.
It was a few years back. Maybe like during COVID is when it ended. I think.
Really? Is that recently?
I got you. Yeah,
Wow.
we'll look this up. Dice.
No, I don't
Yeah.
care that much. I
Jason
don't watch
Ritter.
it.
Jason Ritter was in it. He was the brother. The brother and the sister were having sex.
Blood brother and sister were having sex.
Yes,
That's
they
kinda
were.
gross.
The entire family was like really stupid.
You have a sister. Did you have sex with your sister?
No.
2016 to 2017. So it was like right before COVID.
So Conan the Barbarian.
We got to give it our scores. Would you like me to go with the Rotten Tomatoes score first?
Well, I want to give mine before
All right.
I hear the Rotten Tomatoes score, but
Okay.
I don't want to be. I don't want to be influenced.
That's what I was going to say too.
Yeah.
I can't believe this film was considered a blockbuster.
Oh, it made huge amounts of money.
And the only thing I
But
can
you
think
know,
of is
1982
drugs were like rampant back then.
Go back and look at what was out in the theater in May 14th, 1982. There was nothing in the theater. Back then, they didn't have competing movies coming out, and there wasn't a lot going on back then.
There's probably a lot of sex in the theater.
Maybe. Do you ever have sex in a movie theater?
No,
No, me neither.
Once.
not with
yourself.
Not with another person. Yes.
I was the only one in the theater.
Oh, Brady and I went to see Uncharted.
Oh, you're talking about sex with your son now?
No,
Speaking of sex, me and my son.
alone in the theater. We were the only ones in there.
I remember my buddies and I went to go see the Jerky Boys movie in the theater. We were the only people in the theater. And we sat, we were young. We couldn't sit next to each other. So we all sat on different
Had your own
rows
row.
and stuff like that. There were 3 or 4 of us, and we all just sit on different rows.
That's funny.
Yelling at each other.
That was so stupid. I mean, the movie's terrible, but I've only seen it like 7 times since then.
That's
So how was
I
Uncharted?
haven't
Was
seen that movie in a
Uncharted
long
right?
time.
It was all right. Brady really liked it.
I'll never see it. But
It's worth seeing when it comes out on television.
Who's in that? Is there any names in there?
Tom Holland
Holland.
and Marky Mark.
Yeah.
It's based on a video game. Game. I would never see it.
Oh, the girl, one of the hot girls from Sabrina, the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is in it.
Melissa Joan Hart.
No, not hers. The one that was on Netflix.
I got
There's more than one Sabrina TV show?
the
I had the
Chilling
domestic,
Adventures of Sabrina is excellent.
Oh my God, I bet it is.
Do we want the worldwide box office, or do we want just the domestic?
Well, we can do both. We
All right,
have
so
time.
Domestic, this brought in 39,565,000, so roughly 40 million. Worldwide, 68,851,000.
So when you say worldwide, does worldwide not include domestic? Is that and plus?
Yeah,
Is
because
that plus?
international was 29.
Okay. Okay.
And it probably cost $30.
Yeah,
to make?
I didn't know. I thought Box Office Mojo. I thought it had all that stuff on.
So
it
it made
I guess.
total $70 million. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
And that
70
justified
million.
a sequel. So it had to have been made for less than half of
I would
that.
think, yeah, definitely.
Here, let me see
I mean,
if I
Arnold
can-
probably got
Oh,
like
$20 million.
$20 million to make.
Yeah.
Man, that seems like a big budget back
That seems
then
like
for
a
that
big
movie.
budget for 1982.
And Arnold probably got like $100.
We mentioned the release date being May 14th, 1982. Opening weekend, it made $9.6 million.
Wow. Wow. That's a big deal back then.
Yeah. Tickets only cost $3.
Yeah.
Right? I was going to say, sometimes I thought those sites do the box office that it did, and then like inflation for what it would be in today's
yeah.
box office, but it didn't. But
But none of that matters anyway because movies are different now, and it's just
you're right.
just because like everybody says Gone with the Wind, if they adjusted for inflation, would be the biggest box office of all time.
But also-
there wasn't a fucking television in a house back then, so no one had anything else to do but go to the movies and watch Gone with the
Also, a
Wind.
movie like Going with the Wind wouldn't get theatrical release nowadays.
Well, now it would get canceled before it even got released.
it would be a straight to like a streaming platform. It would
Probably
just be-
because it would be
Like
such
Bridgerton.
it would be a niche or like who wants to watch a Civil War? I don't even know. I've never seen Gone with the Wind. Is it a romantic drama? Like
I've seen
I don't even know what the plot
I've
is.
seen the Carol Burnett.
I know that he
spoof.
said "damn" in 1939 or whenever that movie came out, and that was a big deal. And that's all.
Yeah,
I know.
that was that year. I think 1939.
Do you know where my seat pillow is?
Oh shit! Is it not on you?
I just realized I'm not sitting on it. My butt hurts.
Oh man, hang on.
Oh no, you don't have to get it now.
Well, I don't want you to be. I don't want your butt to hurt. I mean, I do want your butt to hurt, but I want that to be caused by
It's
something.
definitely
else.
not on my chair.
So okay, so we're rating this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I going
Out of
first?
100,
Yeah,
right?
You said you wanted to speak first. Go
Well, I
ahead.
wanted to go before you did the Rotten
Okay.
Tomatoes, but
Yeah.
I get. Oh, so out of 100,
Yeah, think of it like you're grading a test, right?
I'll give this a 35.
Damn.
Oh yeah, this is terrible. It's an F. It's bad.
That's
It's,
exactly what I was going to
Were
give
you
it.
really going to give it a
Yeah,
35?
so I'm going to drop down to a 33.
You can't go. I'm over.
He's going 33 and a
Price is
third
Right.
RPMs. That's what he's doing there. My rating was going to be a solid 40.
Okay.
I just there was some parts where I was like entertained and enjoying myself, but then there was other times I felt like it would have been fine if this was just a 15-minute clip.
Halfway through this movie, I was like, "How much longer is this movie?" I kept hitting
The movie.
I'm like, "Oh my god!"
The
another
movie
hour?
was ridiculously long, and then they couldn't even get everything in. They had to summarize at the end, like that he took the girl back to Osiris.
Whatever.
Osiris.
The fact that they had the big battle scene at the end, and then had to like go back to kill James Earl Jones. I was like, just kill him now.
I didn't
like,
understand why he left there too, because then he has to get back into the damn.
Why aren't you just killing him now? Oh man,
It saved us 12 minutes
and
at least.
let me tell you, that might have been the best scene in the whole movie, the beheading of James Earl Jones,
Oh, yeah,
because
when
it was not a clean shot. It was I'm hitting him from this
he did
side,
that side and this side, and then
side.
how great was it hearing the skull hit the stairs? It was like,
And then when he burned it down and he like was swinging like a shot put. Or
Oh,
whatever
yeah,
that
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah,
it
yeah,
flew up there and it just ding, ding, ding. And
It
it
reminded
took
me
5
of,
minutes for the fire to start.
It reminded me of when Daenerys set the Khal Drogo's thing on fire and
Yes,
she
yes.
walked out of it.
what did you think of when he would get a snake erect?
Yeah, what was that all about? I guess
That
he was
was
he a
terrible.
snake? I mean, he turned into a snake.
Terrible.
As I was saying, but he just made that erect and then he shot Valeria with it. Valeria, and then when he pulled it out, it became a snake again.
And Arnold threw it away.
He was like, "Hey, snake! Get these snakes off of his plane." But yes, at 40%. So I don't know. Do you want
We're all
to
the
do the
same
average?
What's the Rotten Tomato score?
Rotten Tomatoes is 66%.
Yeah, I mean that's
critics, right? Or
That's just the overall, I believe. I didn't. It didn't. It only gives one score when I looked it up. I didn't have just as Rotten Tomatoes 66. Let's see.
66.
All right,
seems a little.
66 is the critics. Audience score is 74%.
Yeah, I was gonna say this.
Damn.
Like, I think this movie has one of those kinds of cult followings that people are like, "Oh yeah,
I think
Conan,
it's
Arnold, awesome."
people who have heard of it and
Yeah.
are voting by not
Maybe the
watching
picture.
What the hell is that? Is
Doesn't
that in
that
the
look
movie?
Doesn't that look like either Jason burned or Toxic
Toxic,
Avenger?
yeah.
That was in the movie. That picture.
I don't know, but that's at the top of that's why I
All
was
them
like,
guys were deformed when he was killing them in the temple. You know,
Mm.
all
Yeah,
those
yeah.
guys were like.
Oh, by the way,
faces
I'd like
were
to add
deformed.
the way I watched this was not the way you guys watch this, because my ability to watch on a flash drive is I couldn't figure it out.
So what did you do?
So I went to some site that people would use to watch things that aren't legal, maybe. And there were about 50 different files. And I got to tell you, I watched the first 30 seconds of Conan the Destroyer about 25 times, because it starts off the exact same way with the same guy talking in the era after Atlantis and before the blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, this is it. I'm getting comfy. I'm starting to watch it. And it just goes, Conan the Destroyer. I'm like, oh, fuck, this is Conan the Destroyer. So, but I'm in the Conan the Barbarian thing.
It says it's Conan the
It
Barbarian.
says Conan the Barbarian. So I did that about 4 times, kept getting the Destroyer. I'm like, oh my God, really? So I actually went to Conan the Destroyer, see if I could find it there.
Are you kidding me?
And it was Conan the Destroyer there. I'm like, wow. I'm like, I guess I might not be able to watch this movie. And then I went back to Conan the Barbarian and went to like one of the low, like a 320 file. And I was just like, let's see if this is it. And it was. So I watched it on a real low res. I don't think I missed much.
I got one for you better. My laptop's not working, so I was unable to use a flash drive as well.
Wow, look at that.
So I had some money on my app, my iTunes. So I rented this movie for $3.99.
Paid for this?
Yes.
Jesus Christ, I wouldn't have done that. I would have just called you guys and been like, podcast is canceled.
No, I rented it. I actually went on YouTube seeing if I could find something. You know how sometimes the movie's broken up into like 8 clips or something like that. And I found something that said Conan the Barbarian in 3 minutes.
Oh.
So I was like, check this out.
Note to self, watch that next time.
Look, I was like, what the hell? I had no idea what was going on in there. And then all of a sudden I did see James Earl Jones get decapitated. Not the whole head up and throwing it.
But was it the whole movie in 3 minutes, really?
It was the whole movie, but again, it didn't really tell the story. You can't put the story together because there's a lot of no talking.
But
you couldn't put the story together watching the 2 hours.
But is it 3 minutes of cuts or 3 minutes of just the movie at like 100 times the speed?
No, it's like 3 minutes of cuts. Like it just shows something like Arnold doing this, and then the next scene is where Larry
so it's
is
jumping
there.
around and stuff like that. Okay.
But yeah, that'd be. I've seen stuff like that.
That might be the best
really
way to watch Conan the Barbarian next time. I'll just watch the 3-minute version. Thanks. Because I was actually like thinking to myself, I was like, I'm going to put the extra effort in. I'm going to watch Conan the Barbarian. I'm going to like it, and then I'm going to watch Conan the Destroyer and be like, I watched them both, and let's talk about both. And then I watched the first one. I was like, I'm never watching Conan the Destroyer.
You know what?
And I hope whenever that movie comes up, whenever we get to 1984. I hope there's something else playing.
I hope so as well.
I hope to watch Conan the Destroyer.
I wish
and
we were
I don't
doing...
care if it's something shitty. We're watching that instead.
After
that's 2 years from now. That's 2 years from now. Problem.
After watching Conan, as like you may also like, or people also viewed this under there, and there's one from '81 that we won't get to do yet, but it was
Hercules in New York.
No, Clash of the Titans. I thought that would be a more fun one to do.
I remember seeing that in the theater.
I watched that. I saw that in the theater. I watched that in 6th grade in school.
Wow.
Because we did like Greek history, I guess, in 6th grade, and I remember like there's boobies in that.
Oh,
I
yeah,
remember being
nudity.
like, is anybody else seeing this? Is anybody else seeing this?
You're like, this is National Geographic boobs, kind of like that.
All
right?
you just heard was zip.
But I was in a bunch of 6th graders, man. There were a lot of zippers. But I remember just thinking, like, at the time, being like, what are we watching here?
Yeah, that's crazy getting away with that.
That's a crazy movie. I've never seen the new one. That old one.
I didn't see the new one, but the old one, Harry Hamlin.
Burgess Meredith,
Laurence Olivier.
Laurence Olivier, yeah. I don't remember who that chick was.
That was a halfway decent movie.
Oh, I thought it was good. I haven't seen it in a long
Yeah.
time, but I remember liking it then. Who's the chick? Who's Aphrodite?
I don't.
The one who gets naked. The one who gets out of the bath naked. I was
the
like,
one that I saw in 6th grade.
She's been tattooed on my brain for 37 years now. I couldn't even tell you if she was. I'm sure
Brian
she was
with the
hot or not,
super
but
Google skills here.
Look at him typing with one finger, like click, click, click.
And he's got that big
click,
bubble on his hand.
Oh
too.
my God. Just more cancer. The guy's a fucking ball of cancer.
I clicked on who plays Aphrodite in Clash of the Titans, and it didn't give me an answer.
Maybe she's not Aphrodite.
Ursula Andrews.
No way is it Ursula Andrews. No
1981?
way.
1981.
Maybe Aphrodite's the god then. Whoever the girl is. Maybe Ursula Andrews, because Zeus is in that, because Olivier is Zeus, right?
Olivier is
Zeus,
yes.
So Aphrodite's a god. So I don't know what that girl's name is. Whatever.
Hold on, let me pull up Wikipedia here, Cass.
Or you just go right into here. Claire Bloom played Hera. Maggie Smith played Thetis.
Claire Bloom.
Ursula Andress did play Aphrodite. Susan
Maggie
Fleetwood
Smith,
played Athena.
I'm not even sure which chick I'm talking
Judy
about.
Bowker
Maybe
played
you're talking
Andromeda.
Athena.
I think it's Andromeda. Judy Bowker.
Maybe.
Or is it Cyan Phillips? She played Cassiopeia.
I don't even know which one's which.
I think that's Sean.
What's that?
Sean Phillips.
What did you say?
I thought I said
It's spelled
Cyan Phillips.
Sian, but I think it's pronounced.
Well, my eyes are bad too,
Why
Brian.
would you say Sean though? Really? Sian is Sean?
It's like Irish or something.
Fucking dude. How many different ways can they spell Sean and none of them look like Sean?
My middle name is Sean, and the correct way to spell Sean is SHAWN.
Huh. I knew a lot of SEANs growing up.
And I don't.
And I remember
associate that.
Sean Dunstan shortstop for the
Cubs.
Cubs was Shaun.
I remember. I went to school with a Sean that had an AUN also. Yeah. I don't know what he's looking up now. Do you have any idea?
Her real name is Dame Jane Elizabeth Aylwin Phillips.
How many names does she have?
Wait, is he quoting Airplane?
Wait, Dame Jane? Is
Dame?
Is she a lady? Is she a lady?
She's a lady.
Shit, just cut me some slack, Mama.
Dame Jane.
Dame Jane Elizabeth Aylwin Phillips.
You should say it sounds like a name you need to say like
It's funny watching Brian try to see his computer as he moves his eyes around his glasses.
It's like he's got Parkinson's. He's just shaking back there. It's like
I got to move up here.
All right, so Conan the Barbarian. Next week we'll be doing Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, which is a Steve Martin, Carl Reiner joint, which
this movie came out May 21st,
I guess. Yeah, 1984.
82. Why do I keep saying 84?
82.
And you did it.
Well, because you said it. I repeated what you said. Yeah.
Exciting
1982.
and new 1982.
Exciting and new 1982.
I did change our Twitter handle to that. I can't remember if I did the Instagram now.
But Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. It's it's obviously a comedy because Steve Martin's in it. And it's,
we went exciting and new 82, right? Or did we do 1982? What did we say?
It flows. I think it flows better with 1982.
I do too. All right.
Exciting and new 1982.
Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
So yeah, Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. I have not seen Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid in probably 30 years.
I can say I have never seen it.
Have you ever seen it, Brian?
Long
yeah,
time.
and I can
can't
already
remember
tell
if we
you,
mentioned it. I had never seen Conan the
I
Barbarian.
never saw Conan either.
Today.
I thought I saw it, but then I watched it and I knew I never saw it.
You said you might have seen Destroyer.
Destroyer, I think I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can already
like I said, this just maybe one Clash of the Titans or something.
I can tell you right now, Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, my rating will be higher already. I know. There's jokes in that I still to this day remember that I will laugh when I see it this time. I'm looking forward to it
because, like I said, I haven't seen it. So
yeah, it's good.
And it's a comedy, you said, right? Can we? Could you read the IMDb description real quick?
You want me to do that?
Would that be okay or no? Yeah,
that's usually your gig, man.
Well, we're switching this up. This is a new podcast. Brian will be reading it next week. I need new glasses.
I'll do it.
I'll read it a lot.
I have no problem doing it. I'm being called.
You know what? I would even put a laptop here. That'd be cool. I could do if that would make it. If you want, I can help with this stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like you could be like looking something up, I look something up, or vice versa.
Yeah, I was thinking about moving another laptop in. So maybe I'll
like
bring
it.
All right. So do you read the thing that it's just at the top there?
Yeah, usually the smaller.
Film noir parody with a detective uncovering a sinister plot. Characters from real noir appear. Oh my god, man! I can't see either, man. This is tough. Characters from real noir appear as scenes from various films are intercut. That characters from real noirs appear as scenes from various films are intercut. That's not a good sentence. That's a bad. Characters from real noirs appear as scenes from various films are intercut. There's something wrong with that sentence.
There's something was taken out, and like they were trying to, and they forgot to put something together with it.
Words.
You know,
The premise is that it's Steve Martin, it's black and white, and they have.
Can you read more to? Oh, sorry, I was going to see more to cast. Yeah.
And they have taken real movies from back in the day and cut them in. That's what they're talking about with this description, but it doesn't really flow.
I'm curious to see how that works because, like you said, Bogart, for example, but then there is there's actually Bogart. You see Bogart.
So the cast is
standing next to Steve Martin in the same cut.
Or
is it like,
okay. Steve Martin, Rachel Ward, Alan Ladd, Carl Reiner, Barbara Stanwyck, Ava Gardner, Burt Lancaster, Humphrey Bogart, Cary Grant, Ingrid Bergen, Veronica Lake, Betty Davis, Lana Turner, Edward Arnold, Kirk Douglas, Fred McMurray, James Cagney. Wow. That's the cast. That's like a greatest hits of people that have been dead for a long time right there, except for Steve Martin.
From the idea, from what I'm feeling in my head, it sounds really fun. And like if it does work out the way I'm thinking in my head, obviously I don't know the story, but like being cool, like where you're interacting with these characters from other movies. Why hasn't this been done more? And now with fakes, you could do so much more with these fakes.
I don't know. I think now probably it's harder to get the rights to movies.
A lot of actors could be losing their jobs because they're like, I'll just CGI in.
Well, how far are we away from that anyway? I mean, like Grand Moff Tarkin and Princess Leia were in a movie where it wasn't them.
and then you turn characters into their younger selves.
I just read an article today that the guy that played. Did you see Mandalorian?
Yeah,
the guy that played Luke Skywalker in season 2 finale of Mandalorian.
Yeah,
the body guy.
Spoiler alert.
Did not know that he was going to be have his face digitally altered.
Oh, he thought he was going to be.
He thought he was in the movie. Like he was the guy with the lightsaber swinging it around. And all of a sudden, he was probably sitting on his couch, being like, "Honey, this is me, my big scene." And it's Mark Hamill's face. He's like, "The fuck?"
So they didn't even tell him.
I have no idea.
Oh man!
But I mean, I've heard that.
I want to be told.
I mean, I heard that like Dave Prowse was never told that his voice was going to be changed for
that
Darth
one I heard
Vader.
too, because he got mad about that, and that's how him and George Lucas got into a fight, and he was then banned from all the like Star Wars celebrations and things that they had for.
But it's funny because he did Empire and Jedi.
Yeah,
but he already knew his voice was changing, and don't cut your nose off, man, because anybody could play the body of Darth Vader.
He could have had a nice career just doing the Star Wars circuit, the convention circuit. It's out there. I mean, the Star Trek, same thing. Those things are like huge.
Yeah. I don't even know. I mean, I assume Star Trek conventions are still a thing, but like Wizard World, Chiller, all those things are so big now. I wonder if like, have they just kind of like, do the Star Trek people go to them? Like we went to a Wizard World where Patrick Stewart was at that one.
Shatner was at one of them. Yeah.
Walter Koenig was at that one Wizard World we went to in Philly that one time. So it's almost like they don't.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been to one with George Takei.
I went to a.
We're hitting an hour.
Okay, that's fine.
That's perfect. Yeah.
I went to a Star Trek convention, one Star Trek convention in Valley Forge.
Did you get any autographs?
No. I was kind of against my will. I was almost like a fly on the wall. I want to see what these things are all about kind of things. I went with two good friends of mine. Anthony was one of them. And
they were excited for it, right?
They were jumping up and down. And Brent Spiner was there. He was like the guy, and he spoke, and people were able to go up there and ask him questions and stuff like that. So
did you see him speak? Or
we saw him speak. Our friend Ron went up and asked him a question. And Anthony and I were like,
was it an embarrassing question?
It was, yes. It was embarrassing. I mean, embarrassing to us.
So they got their picture taken with him or autographs or anything like that?
I honestly don't even remember. I don't remember.
You know, I'm a fan of doing that kind of stuff. I love celebrity.
At that point in my life, I was not. I was like, this is so
there was
stupid.
a bunch of times I'd try to get you to go, and you were always like, I'm not going to that. You'd ask me to get you an autograph every now and then if there was somebody that you wanted, but that's how we did it. Because I
had kids. I had to do stuff. But I had to go to soccer practice.
But that it wasn't even that. You were just saying I didn't want to pay to go to it. That was your thing back then.
I still agree with that. I don't think I should have to pay $30 to get into a place.
Go.
I don't think I should have to pay $30 to get into a place and then pay to get someone's autograph. Either make it free to get in or free to get autographs. One or the other. Don't double dip.
I agree.
Double dipping's bullshit.
You make it free to go in. That's more money I'm going to spend on either an autograph or even merchandise.
If I'm paying to get in, I'm not buying anything when I get in there. I'm just going to look around and be like, well, I'll find that on YouTube, eBay later for cheaper or something like that.
Or Jason's sister make that.
Exactly, right? I mean, don't charge me to get in if you're charging for every single thing inside, including meeting the celebrities. I'd rather it be free, and then I get to choose what I'm paying for as I go through my day at one of these terrible things.
Yeah, and I know it's April, but I may go at the end of the month. I'm not sure to Chiller this year.
Who's there? Who's the big draw?
Robert Weller, Peter Weller,
RoboCop.
Yeah, the MASH people. I told you my big one. The ones I wanted were. Was the girls from Facts of Life, and there was one other one. I can't remember who now. But
is Chachi at this one?
No. I heard like I seen on like their page or whatever, Chiller's page, Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and Chachi had so many great reviews of like being like really nice to like So I hope he comes around because I would definitely. I know a lot of people hate him because of his political views, but I can put that to the side if I like the person for being in a TV show, unlike some people we know.
I know Michelle would love to be Chachi. Love it.
That would be a fun one.
I hear something binging.
I hear it as well.
Is that the hour? Did you put a timer on us that we have to be done in an hour? I heard bing.
No, it's maybe
Just
Alexa
to
might
add
have
to
thought
that, I
she
mean,
heard.
I told you Henry Winkler was the nicest celebrity when I met him.
That's awesome.
And
I'm
I
glad
met
he was nice.
Donnie Most and Anson Williams, both also really nice guys. So I think anybody from that cast really would. I mean, it'd be cool to probably meet Ron. You know what I mean? It'd be cool to meet Tom C. Bosley back in the day.
I was gonna say, isn't he dead?
Yeah.
Logan just texted me. He's like, "We're gonna be there in like 15 minutes." I'm like, "All right."
We're about to wrap up now, I believe, right? I'm going to mention that we mentioned the movie, so we're good there.
What did we do? What was this about?
I was thinking that I couldn't remember if you did mention the movie, but
the next one.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
if you like this, the next one will be better.
We're getting there.
I think this was a bad movie to start it off with. We just needed to start it. Because if we didn't start it, it would have never started. So now,
no, this is going to get things rolling because wasn't as excited about this movie, but thinking about this next movie, I'm not the biggest Steve Martin fan, but I don't hate Steve Martin.
I
you know what I mean?
Also agree that I was not excited to talk about Conan even before I watched it. Much less excited after I watched it, and but I just knew we had to get going.
What do you think? Were you excited to watch this, or were you not?
I was excited to watch it, and then I was horribly disappointed.
And much less excited as it went on.
My excitement got less and less throughout the movie.
That's the truth.
All right, boys.
We can be found at the Exciting and New Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook,
Grindr,
TikTok. You still have the TikTok going? Okay, and I am Jazoo74 Twitter, the Jazoo on Instagram. He's AE Gonzo1
ish
at Twitter. What's he, Andy?
Papa Bad Kitty.
Papa Bad Kitty.
Twitter and Instagram.
I don't even know what my Instagram is. I think it's just.
I think it's something
Gonzo.
along the AE Gonzo as well on there. Just look for a clip. I'll probably tag. I should take a picture of the setup here or something tonight to post that we were back in this and getting this exciting and new 1982 rolling.
Oh, and we got to tag Arnold and James Earl Jones in on our Twitter when we send it out.
Yes,
so,
yes, that'll be fun.
We got to add those guys to it.
Definitely.
So Arnold will be like, "What's going on?"
How great would it be just if I mean, obviously he's got somebody running his Twitter, but if you get a like, just be.
I'd like a do-over. I'd rather say James Earl Jones is going to get it and go, what is it? Fuck, I don't have it. I don't have it. Shit. I thought I had it. I thought I was going to do a good James Earl Jones. I didn't have it. God damn it.
Wait, do you want to one more time?
No, I don't. I don't have it. I don't have it.
You're laughing now, too, so it wouldn't work. Yeah. You want to try it, Brian?
The only way I could do it is if I just did a Darth Vader voice, but I don't a line. I don't want to do Darth Vader line.
Conan, I skull fucked your mother.